Yo, what is going on YouTube? It is your boy GZTV, and a moment I've been waiting for a while. We are finally here to talk about Dexter Original Sin, the prequel to the original series, and getting news that the Resurrection series is coming out in July. I think it is July. I figured, we're gonna watch this series. Stranger Things is coming out soon. We'll get to that next. Again, very busy summer for TV shows. All sorts of new seasons are coming out. Really excited about it. Squid Game 3. It's gonna be great. But this prequel brings back classic vibes while promising new elements in Dexter's story. Episode 1 offers unique insight into Dexter's past with well-paced storytelling, and Michael C. Hall's narration guides viewers through young Dexter's thought process, and I think that is something, that I'm gonna grow to love about this prequel because, wow, we get to hear Dexter's voice, voicing his younger self, and obviously there's a different character playing him, Patrick Gibson. It's gonna be great to at least get Michael C. Hall still with us in the series, and obviously he's gonna be a part of the Resurrection series as well. So the first episode, this episode aired on Paramount Plus with Showtime back in December, so I'm a little late on it, and it featured a familiar tone to the original series while offering something completely different. I already have a prediction now. I think what this series is going to do really good at is, pay homage to the original, but also kind of keep that balance. Also kind of give fans like a refreshing show. So that's great. Patrick Gibson takes on the role of young Dexter as he embarks on an internship at Miami Metro. Wow, I have an internship tomorrow. Isn't that great? And Michael C. Hall's narration is used to perfection to recount his life as it flashes before his eyes. Just kind of like the recollection, kind of going back into your past. This episode is directed by Michael Lehman and written by showrunner Clyde Phillips. The title of the episode is And in the Beginning, and it kicked off Dexter's origin story in style, while also explaining how Dexter is actually alive in the present timeline. I guess with this show all along, people kind of knew that Dexter was going to come back in some way, shape, or form, so that's pretty cool. We knew the series was coming out all along, since December at least, so it's great to see it finally be announced. Man, this prequel is really going to bring back the classic vibe of the original series. It's also going to promise something a bit different. Let's kind of talk about it. The burning question on the minds of many fans in the lead up to the return of the Dexterverse was how Dexter's apparent death in the final episode of New Blood would be retconned. Until the final trailer of Original Sin was released, it was expected an answer wouldn't be provided until the release of the sequel series, Resurrection, in the summer of 2025. I don't really know how long people knew that there was going to be a resurgence, a sequel series coming out. It's not even a sequel at this point, it's a fucking trilogy because they dropped Dexter New Blood. However, Original Sin does open with a cameo from Michael C. Hall, which is sick, and the return of his dulcet tones and a flicker of humor to boot. It's awesome. Dexter is reborn, and so is the iconic title sequence, which kicks it in before a 20-year-old Dexter is introduced. A beating heart, I'll take it. We're meeting Dexter in college, a very young Dexter played by Patrick Gibson, and obviously there's some controversy surrounding the recasting, but I think I'm gonna like this. There's so much about this episode that feels very familiar, from Vince Masuka's dirty laugh, I don't know how they recasted him and he still nailed it, to Deborah Morgan's potty mouth and Dexter's social awkwardness. However, it never feels like a rehash of the original Dexter series, and more like a promise to fill in all the blanks about Dexter's murky past. The cold and unforgiving opening setting of Iron Lake is swiftly replaced by the welcome return of the iconic location of Miami, and an introduction to a mixture of legacy and some intriguing new characters, of course. Again, it's just such a dope balance. It's going to be really cool to see, as this show goes on, how they're going to do this. It's going to be pretty incredible. I don't really know what else to say for now. This episode's going to be pretty short because obviously we're opening the series. We're not really introducing anything super new, but there you go. This episode focuses primarily on establishing the dynamics of the Morgan household, really just centered around there. We're not really in Miami Metro that often. I actually really like this because this is the core of the beginnings of Dexter, how he was taught, how he was parented, his relationship with his sister, I guess. And the recreation of Dexter's first kill was fucking cool. It portrayed very well. I think they did this really well. Clyde Phillips is the man, and he's a name you guys are going to learn to love here. It is refreshing to see a young Dexter who is very much not the neat monster yet and still figuring out his particular modus operandi, which includes a very gruesome and satisfyingly different disposal of his first victim. So that was pretty refreshing and pretty crazy to kind of witness that on the big screen. But again, man, it is awesome. Dexter's not quite developed as a killer, so we're going to kind of follow him for the next 9 other episodes. I think it's going to be awesome. The first episode is well paced, offers a unique insight into his past that wasn't previously announced in the original show, or it wasn't previously talked about. So Christian Slater is a standout in this episode, and he very much takes the character of Harry Morgan his own. He makes the character of Harry Morgan his own creation. Christian Slater was great, while also paying tribute to the roadmap laid out by his predecessor James Remar. There's a shocking revelation about Harry's past that both the audience and Dexter didn't know about, and it adds another layer of complexity to the man who helped channel Dexter's dark passenger. He helped him give him the rules and kind of the justification for killing certain people and all these sort of things. There's a lot of story to get through in an episode that is just shy of 50 minutes. Obviously, they got to go out with a bang. They got to make sure, they open this up right so people are going to come back. But it's well paced. It sets the scene for the rest of the season very, very well. I think it's a really dope introductory episode that has just the right amount of action while not throwing too much at you, and it's not too slow. I think it's a very balanced episode. I think they did really well with this one. Patrick Gibson nails Dexter Morgan's unique outlook on life, while Michael C. Hall's narration helps to guide the viewer through the young serial killer's thought process with the wisdom of hindsight. Kind of looking back on it, it is such an awesome dynamic, and I think the relationship between Michael C. Hall and Patrick Gibson is going to be awesome, and it's going to be very, very entertaining moving forward for this show. This first episode feels like a prelude to the actual start of the season. I mean, this doesn't even really feel like the first episode. It's very introductory, and I like that. With Dexter's Miami Metro introduction arriving towards the tail end, and the new and old detectives only getting brief introductions. So I think really the pilot is going to be in the next episode, and again, that's a really awesome dynamic, and I like that they did that. However, it's a promising start for the long-awaited prequel series, and there is enough for fans to get excited about. There's a nice high school element to this episode as well. I do like kind of the contrast between high school and, college frat parties. By the way, I'm not really sure how Harry let Deborah go to a college party like that. I don't know. We're not going to really talk about the plot too much, I think, in these type of reviews. I think in this format, because, well, it's been out for a minute now. I think you guys can kind of understand it. I think we're going to talk about it in generalities, which is going to be a lot better, I think, from a critic standpoint and on this channel. It points towards some important storylines aimed at the Gen Z demographic, with the whole high school thing. I think it's great. Deborah's played by Molly Brown, by the way. She's fucking gorgeous. Oh my god, Molly Brown is beautiful. I don't know if she... Wait a second. Holy shit, she's 30. We're good, boys. Dexter's future love interest is Sophia, played by Raquel Justice. I kind of forgot about Sophia. They vibe well in a couple of scenes, this is crazy. I mean, it's honestly, insane to see the beginnings of Dexter here. And, Michael Lehman's influence on the series could lead to a classic Heathers style subplot. I don't know. That's what people are kind of drawing comparisons on. That's kind of what critics are talking about early on. It's great to have Dexter Morgan back on television screens and embarking on the beginning of his deliciously dark hobby. So there you go. So kind of just talking about it, man, this was awesome. I'm going to try not to spoil things too much with these. I know I probably should have did that for you and not this. Really awesome first episode. Me and my dad enjoyed it. I'm going to be watching it with my dad. He wasn't really caught up on you, but I decided, you know what, let's watch these together. And by the way, just like some announcements for the channel, I'm not sure how often videos are going to come out anymore because I'm starting an internship. I'm working full time. I'll try to edit videos throughout the day when I get back and from work and the nights, but also NBA playoffs are on. I got to be wired in for that, doing recaps and stuff like that. Obviously no game tomorrow, so I think you guys will get this video on Monday, but I had to skip a day. You guys probably saw my post. Really good episode here. Again, it's gonna really throw me off at first with some of the characters, but I do think that Molly Brown as Deborah is nailing it. Masuka is nailing it. I think Dexter's nailing it. Some of the other characters I don't remember too much. I guess some of them are probably new as well. Angel's actor seems to be, his recasting anyway, seems to be nailing it. We'll just have to see kind of as they introduce new characters. I think Christina Milian is going to be LaGuerta, so that'll be interesting to see. Obviously, Milian's a pretty big name, and Christian Slater is Harry as well. They got a really dope ensemble cast together here, so it's going to be dope to see that kind of moving forward. Let me know what you think of the videos. These are going to be short, probably 8 or 9 minutes long, just because it's going to be a review. I'm not going to go through plot line by plot line. I think you guys can kind of figure that out by yourself, and plus with a show as great as this, I like to talk about it in generalities. I like to say what I like about it and focus more on the review than just talking about the plot line. So with that being said, leave a like, comment, subscribe. Check out the socials. I'm going to be posting them on the screen right now. A lot of short form content. I am prioritizing that as we prepare for Summer Smash. So if you don't get a YouTube video, you'll most likely get a short. So check it all out.